1 in every 3 drivers faces a major breakdown before 100,000 miles. Some cars don't even make it to 70,000. I've seen engines lock at 40,000, transmissions die at 50,000, warranties fail at 60,000. This list covers 19 cars that die before 70,000 miles. Stay with me, the last car is America's favorite, and yet Consumer Reports calls it one of the worst vehicles ever built. Let's kick it off with number 19. Dodge Dart. Aimed at competing with Civic and Corolla, it ended up stranded on the roadside instead. The 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016 models all picked up the same problems. The biggest one was sudden stalling. Owners reported the car dying while driving, sometimes right in traffic. Car complaints data shows the average failure hits around 30 to 50,000 miles. NHTSA logged repeated complaints of power loss, with no warning. That's dangerous. The 2.0 and 2.4 Tiger Shark engines also burned oil. Not just a little, enough to foul plugs, trigger misfires, and kill cats early. Chrysler even faced a class action lawsuit over it. Transmissions didn't help either. The 6-speed automatic lagged and slipped, while the manual had clutch failures. For a small car, repair bills stacked up fast. If you're shopping for cheap used cars, skip the Dart. I've seen too many owners tow these in before 70,000 miles. You thought stalling was dangerous? Wait until you hear about the car that eats its own bearings before most people finish paying it off. Number 18. Hyundai Elantra. The sleek styling may have drawn buyers in, but what lurked under the hood was a different story. Specifically, the 2014 model. The main issue was engines are knocking and failing early. The 1.8 and 2.0 cylinders developed bearing wear. Once that starts, you'll hear a ticking or thumping. Ignore it, and the engine seizes. According to NHTSA filings, Hyundai had to extend warranties on engines due to metal debris left in the blocks during machining. That debris blocked the oil flow and killed bearings. I've seen these motors spun before 60,000. Electrical glitches added to the pain. Power steering cutouts, bad sensors, random no-starts. Add in weak suspension bushings, and the ride got sloppy way too soon. If you thought you were buying a set-it-and-forget-it car, these years proved you wrong. I wouldn't buy one. Engine failures are bad enough, but the next car had a turbo setup that cooked itself alive, leaving owners with blown head gaskets and dead engines. Number 17. Chevrolet Cruze. Marketed as a budget-friendly commuter, it turned out to be anything but. From 2011 through 2017, far too many ended up on lifts way before their time. The 1.4 turbo engines were the biggest culprit. Coolant leaks from weak water pumps and bad thermostat housings were everywhere. The turbo setup also baked the PCV system. This led to a rough, idle, oil loss, and a check engine light. Add in timing chain stretch, and you're looking at major engine teardowns while most cars are just breaking in. Transmissions didn't help. The 6-speed autos slipped, shuddered, or failed pressure solenoids. Plenty of owners ended up stranded. NHTSA complaints pile up on stalling and power loss. I've had Cruzes towed in with engines ruined at 50,000. A commuter car shouldn't die that fast. If you think that's bad, the next one proved that even German engineering can bleed your wallet dry. Number 16. Volkswagen Jetta. The earlier gen Jetta with the EA888 2.0T engine promised German fun at a fair price. But owners learned quick that fun came with a repair bill. These engines burned a quart every 1,000 miles or less. Timing chain tensioners also failed, often without warning. One slip and the engine's toast. Carbon buildup on the intake valves was another killer. Direct injection meant no fuel wash, so by 50,000 the valves gummed up. Power dropped, misfires came, and cleaning wasn't cheap. Transmissions added insult. The DSG units shifted sharp when new but wore fast. Mechatronic unit failures stranded drivers, and repairs ran into the thousands. That failure will strand you at a gas station. The next one could leave you on the highway. Number 15. Mini Cooper. It might look playful on the outside, but under the hood, the 2007 to 2014 models with N12 and N14 engines were anything but fun to live with. Timing chain tensioners were the main killer. They stretched, rattled, and eventually let the chain jump. Once it jumps, that motor's done. Mini even faced lawsuits over it. Oil consumption was another nasty one. These engines drank oil like a two-stroke. Miss a top-up, and you'd end up with spun bearings or seized pistons. Add in carbon buildup on the valves, and drivability went downhill fast. Cooling systems weren't much better. Water pump failures cooked a lot of heads early. Owners' forums are loaded with stories of engines lost before 70,000. I'll be blunt, I wouldn't trust one of these for daily use. Repairs often cost more than the car's worth. If you thought that was bad, the next one will make you double-check your loan papers. Number 14. BMW N20. Germans are known for engineering, but the N20 and N54 engines showed the cracks. Both promised performance. Both left owners with empty wallets. The N24 cylinder, used in 2012 to 2015 3 Series and others, had timing chain failures. BMW even extended the warranty after complaints piled up. Chains stretched, guides broke, and engines quit well before 70,000. The N54 six-cylinder, found in the 335i and others, had its own mess. High-pressure fuel pumps failed over and over. BMW faced a recall and lawsuits. Add in turbo wastegate rattle and carbon buildup, and you've got a high-performance grenade. I've worked on both. When they ran, they were smooth. When they failed, repair bills topped $5,000 easy. That's not what you want before 70,000. Those failures might drain your wallet, but the next one? It's earned a spot as one of America's worst cars. Number 13. Fiat 500. This one is an all-time entry in the list of shame. The Fiat 500 from 2012 to 2015 was supposed to bring Italian style to the US. Instead, it brought constant repair orders, 70,000 miles. For this car, its death was already written. No wonder it shows up in just about every single list of the worst cars ever sold in the US. Engines rattled, burned oil, and lost compression early. Automatic transmission shuddered, slipped, or just quit. Interior parts cracked and broke fast. Power windows failed. Door handles came loose. Even the seat frames bent. You can't drive a car that's falling apart inside and out. I've seen folks buy one cheap, thinking they'd save gas. A year later, they were selling it for scrap. Number 12, Chrysler 200. The second gen, especially the 2015 model, was a disaster in a shiny suit. Chrysler hyped it as the import fighter. What buyers got was a car that quit way too soon. The ZF 9-speed automatic was the biggest mess. Rough shifts, slipping, and sudden loss of power. Chrysler pushed out software updates, but the problems persisted. Engines didn't save it either. The 2.4 Tiger Shark drank oil, sometimes a quart every 1,000 miles. That led to misfires, bad cats, and seized motors. The cabin looked good at first, but electronics failed fast. Screens froze. Keyless systems glitched. Owners' forums are packed with horror stories of cars shutting down without warning. And just when you think Chrysler dropped the ball, the next brand proved they could bury it even deeper. Number 11, Ford Focus. It looked modern, packed with tech, and promised great mileage. But the dual-clutch, power-shift automatic turned this car into a rolling lawsuit. Instead of smooth shifts, drivers got grinding, jerking, and sudden hesitation. According to an investigation by the Detroit Free Press, Ford knew these gearboxes failed early, but sold them anyway. Thousands of complaints ended up with NHTSA, and class action cases dragged on for years. Many failed before 70,000 miles, some even under 30,000. Clutches wore out like brake pads. The control modules fried and left the car stuck in neutral. Owners reported the car lunging into traffic or refusing to move at all. I had more than one towed in, transmission completely dead, under warranty mileage. This wasn't a small glitch. It was the core of the car, and it made the Focus almost worthless on the used market. And if you think Ford's gearbox disaster was ugly, wait until you see the SUV that dragged a whole brand's reputation even lower. Number 10, Jeep Cherokee. Jeep has become a running joke in the American auto story. Year after year, it sits near the bottom of reliability rankings. Consumer Reports and J.D. Power both slammed it for dependability, and the 2014 Cherokee proved exactly why. The infamous ZF 9-speed automatic, yes, the same disaster found in the Chrysler 200, was the heart of the problem. Hard shifts, gear hunting, and delayed response made it feel broken right off the lot. NHTSA logged thousands of complaints for stalling and sudden power loss. Jeep tried to patch it with software updates, but nothing fixed the core issue. Then came the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine, guzzling oil like crazy. Many owners didn't catch it until the motor locked up, sometimes well before 70,000 miles. Add in glitchy electronics and recalls for rollaway risks, and you're left with a crossover that nobody should trust. I wouldn't touch a 2014 Cherokee with a 10-foot pole. Number 9, Hyundai or Kia. Different models, same story, because they all shared the Theta 2.4-liter engine. On paper, it looked solid. In reality, it became one of the worst engine disasters of the past decade. The flaw was baked in. Metal shavings from the factory clogged oil passages, starving the bearings. Once they wore out, the engine started knocking. Ignore that knock, and it usually ended with a seized motor. According to Reuters, Hyundai and Kia had to recall over 1.6 million vehicles in 2015 alone. More recalls followed, covering Sonatas, Optimas, Sorrentos, and more. NHTSA opened investigations after cars stalled on highways. Fires were also reported, tied to seized engines and oil leaks. I've yanked more of these motors than I can count. They rarely make it past midlife, and the repair is almost always a full replacement. And if you think this was ugly, the next one shows just how quickly a car can betray you. Number 8, Mercedes M272 M 273 V6/V8, mid-2000s. Mercedes-Benz, just like BMW, has a reputation for solid engineering, but the mid-2000s M272 V6 and M273 V8 engines dragged that name through the mud. The M272 3.0 and 3.5 V6 showed up in the C-Class, E-Class, ML350, and CLK models around 2005 to 2008. The M273 4.6 and 5.5 V8 went into bigger cars and SUVs like the S-Class, CLS, and GL. All shared the same design flaw. The balance shaft gear, V6, and idler gear, V8, wore down far too early. Engines threw camshaft timing codes, P0016, P0017, rattled, and often failed before 70,000 miles. Even with spotless maintenance records, this became such a scandal that Mercedes faced a class action lawsuit in the US. The fix wasn't cheap either. $4,000 to $6,000 for engine teardown, sometimes more. Add in intake manifold failures, PCV clogs, and oil leaks, and these cars were money pits. I've seen spotless E350s come into the shop, only to find out the heart of the engine was shot before it even hit 60,000. That kind of failure was bad enough in a mid-2000s luxury car. But the next one? It happened in a brand new midsize sedan. Number 7, Nissan Altima. It used to be a safe midsize bet, but when Nissan rolled out the new 2.0-liter VC turbo engine in 2019, that safe bet turned into a gamble. The VC stands for variable compression. It was marketed as high-tech, able to shift compression ratios for power or fuel economy. On paper, it sounded like a breakthrough. In reality, the 2019 and 2020 Altima with this motor racked up failures fast. Owners reported knocking, oil burning, and sudden loss of power. Nissan forums are loaded with stories of cars spending weeks in the shop while dealers waited for replacement motors. What made it worse? This was Nissan's big push to rebuild trust after years of CVT transmission scandals. Instead, it gave the Altima one of the most failure-prone modern engines. I wouldn't touch a 2019 to 2020 Altima with that engine. The tech was clever, but the execution doomed it. And here's the kicker. This same experimental engine wasn't just stuck in Nissan's midsize sedan. It made its way into Infiniti's luxury SUVs too, and that gamble went even worse. Number 6. Infiniti QX50/QX55. If the VC Turbo was risky in a midsize sedan, dropping it into a luxury SUV was a disaster waiting to happen. Infiniti bet big on the QX50 and later the QX55 by making them the first premium crossovers with Nissan's 2.0-liter variable compression engine, the same one that was already failing in the Altima. Tuned for more power, it only magnified the problems. The 2019 to 2022 QX50 and the 2022 to 2023 QX55 showed the same problems: knocking, high oil use, and early failures. NHTSA complaints mention engine stalling without warning, even on the highway. Some owners reported total engine replacements before 50,000 miles. Infiniti wanted to sell cutting-edge tech. What buyers got was a test lab motor that quit young. Number 5. Nissan Rogue. From 2021 to 2024, this SUV flirted with disaster, thanks to the same VC turbo engine problems that plagued Altima and Infiniti models. In June 2025, Nissan recalled more than 480,000 vehicles in the US over possible engine-bearing defects that lead to engine failure. The recall covers 2021 to 2024 Rogues, as well as some Altima and QX50, QX55 models. NHTSA documents show multiple complaints: seized engines, loss of power, knocking noises, metal debris, and oil pans. For example, some drivers reported their Rogue stalled on the highway before reaching 70,000 miles. As for Consumer Reports, while they don't publish a simple score for all these model years, their reliability ratings for the Rogue are weak. Their 2022/2023 overview mentions that reliability is lower than average. So it's not just anecdotes. Independent reviewers see the concern too. I had a client whose 2022 Rogue dropped compression in one cylinder by 45,000 miles. The engine was shot. That's not wear, that's a factory flaw. And if you think a compact SUV with a blown motor is bad, wait until you hear about massive six-figure trucks losing engines before 70,000 miles. Number 4. GM 2021 to 2024 full-size trucks and SUVs. GM dropped some heavy metal in 2021 to 2024. The 6.2-liter L87 V8 engine. It's in trucks and big SUVs like the Chevy Silverado 1500, Tahoe, Suburban, GMC Sierra 1500, Yukon and Yukon XL, and Cadillac Escalade/Escalade ESV. These are premium, expensive machines. But the 6.2-liter motors started failing early. Internal parts, connecting rods, crankshaft bearings have manufacturing defects. That leads to engine damage, loss of power, and even engine seizure. In April 2025, GM recalled about 597,630 of these vehicles due to the risk of engine failure. Thousands of complaints preceded this recall. Over 28,000 field complaints about the L87 engine alone. Consumer Reports earlier flagged the 2021 Silverado 1500 and GMC Sierra 1500 as among the least reliable vehicles. They gave them a predicted reliability score of just 31 out of 100. I saw one owner whose Escalade lost power without any warnings at 60,000. That's scary. Number 3. Ford Fusion. Ford made some sweet cars, but in some model years, big systems failed early. Powertrain, electronics, stuff that should last, didn't. Take the Ford Fusion, especially around 2010 to 2015. The 2010 to 2012 models had serious power steering failures. The electric power steering would suddenly quit while driving. The NHTSA opened an investigation covering approximately 938,000 cars for that issue. Also, the 2013 to 2015 Fusions with the 6F35 automatic transmission had early life problems. Harsh shifts, slipping, loss of power. Fluids and software updates helped some, but not all. Head gasket failures in the 1.5-liter and 2.0-liter EcoBoost engines showed up often in those same years, causing coolant leaks and misfires. Many owners got replacements or major repairs before 70,000 miles. Electrical and control module glitches also haunted them. Hybrid Fusion models lost shiftability, powertrain control modules threw codes, car shutoffs in traffic. One nearly died from a steering assist failure on a cold morning. It shook me how fast stuff dropped. What to do if you own one? Find service bulletins for your year. Check if your VIN was included in any recalls. Keep up with transmission fluid changes. Watch steering assist. If it feels weak or light, get it checked. Number 2. Jeep Renegade. This is the second Jeep showing up on our list, and no other brand has doubled up. That alone tells you how deep the problems run. The Renegade takes things even further, with the 2015 model year being especially notorious. Car Complaints shows over 1,000 complaints for 2015 alone. Common issues: transmission failure, engine stalling, power loss, rough shifting. Transmission problems with the ZF 9-speed automatic are consistent. Owners report it lurches, drops into neutral, or hesitates. Shift surges and hard shifts often occur before 50 to 60,000 miles. Engine issues too: excessive oil consumption, engine won't start, stalling while driving, the ECU/ECM/electronics misbehave. Electrical accessories, sensors, and even the TIPM module crop up. Recalls: the 2017 Renegade had a recall for instrument cluster/panel software, so warning lights lit up willy-nilly. I've worked on these. I've seen Renegades tow in with smoke or dead drivetrain under 60,000. It always costs more than the purchase price of another reliable brand. That failure will strand you at a gas station. But the last car on this list isn't just America's worst. It's hated worldwide for one fatal weakness. Number 1. Ford F-150 Hybrid, 2021 to 2025. Ford's F-150 is America's favorite truck. No dispute there, with over 40 years of dominating the market. But this particular model? A disaster. The 2021 through 2025 F-150 hybrids brought cutting-edge tech, but instead of reliability, they delivered headaches, breakdowns, and owner frustration. Consumer Reports doesn't hold back. These trucks rank near the bottom, with reliability scores as low as 7 out of 100. Owners reported a laundry list of failures: hybrid battery issues, early transmission failures, coolant leaks, software glitches, and random power loss. Some trucks lost acceleration unexpectedly, while others had engines refuse to start, leaving owners stranded. Even routine maintenance became a gamble. Replacement parts were expensive, and dealer visits were frequent. The hybrid system, meant to improve efficiency, often made matters worse. Battery modules failed prematurely. Regenerative braking acted unpredictably, and combined with the 10-speed transmission, drivers faced costly repairs before 70,000 miles. NHTSA complaints stack up: seized motors, stalled trucks, and total engine replacements. Owner satisfaction tells the real story. When asked, "Did you get what you wanted relative to the price you paid?" only 30% said yes. That's a staggering gap for a truck that commands a premium price. Most buyers felt underwhelmed, frustrated, and financially hit. I've seen these F-150 hybrids towed in at 50,000 to 60,000 miles with catastrophic failures. It's the ultimate cautionary tale. Even America's best-selling truck isn't safe from fatal flaws. This is why it earns the top spot on our list. Nobody wants a vehicle that dies young, no matter the badge. After all these breakdown stories, here's the real question: which cars actually last? You don't want to waste money again. I've got 13 cars that simply never break down. Click the link below to see that list next.